Welcome to the YDD training video on how to use the YDD grant review system in SM Apply. In the first video, we saw how to log in and navigate to the review dashboard in order to open up a grant application for review. In this video, we will walk through the review steps in SM Apply once you have a specific application open. Okay, let's begin. When you open an application as being displayed on the screen, a split screen page will open up on the Summary View tab, as indicated by the summary in blue here. And on the split screen on the left is the application window where the grant application will be. And on the right is the reviewer form where you will put in your scores and comments side by side. You'll notice some basic navigation points. There's a scroll bar here that you can click, hold, and drag up and down. I've got another scroll bar here, click, drag side to side. I can also change the size of the panes by hovering, click, hold, and drag side to side here as well. While you're still on the summary tab, there's 3 steps that you want to take before beginning the review. The first step is to ensure that the submission ID number is exactly the same in 3 places. So it's listed 2 places on the left-hand side. And if you scroll down on the right, you can see the submission ID number here as well. So these need to match. If they don't match, please reach out to Paul and Bill. Their information is towards the top here. And you can let them know if you see a problem with the submission ID number. The second action you want to take while the summary tab is still open, you want to look at the information at the top here and make sure that the information is complete. Note, if you are reviewing a re-engagement grant, you will not have this grant initiative field, so that's fine. And the third and final action that you need to take on this page is you need to look at the organization name to determine if there is a conflict of interest. And you will look here on the right, read down here, scroll down, and you can see that there are 3 required fields. So in the date, you click on date field, and then you can click on the date to populate the box. On the name, you can type your first name, middle initial, and last name here. And then there's also a required drop down on conflict of interest. So if you select either conflict or potential conflict of interest, when you save and continue on this page, you'll be taken into a different page with instructions to follow. After following those instructions, you'll be directed to click on the review dashboard to take you back to your other reviews, and you'll be assigned a different application to review. So selecting no conflict of interest is the only option that will allow you to continue the review. So once you select no conflict of interest here, for demonstration purposes, so we can go on, we're selecting no conflict of interest. We're going to scroll down to the bottom and we will click on Save and Continue to continue on with our review. And here, this changed the page here on the right. So you can see that I have evaluation item here, youth population on the right. And what I'm going to do is I'll click out of the summary link and into the application on the left. And I can scroll down and I see the application here. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down till we get to number 1, youth population. Okay, so there I've got number 1, youth population, and I will align that on the right as well. And you can see that I've got the number 1, the instructions, and here I have the responses that I'm going to evaluate. So I can read here, and I've got just kind of a key about what the numbers are so I can remember. And then I'm going to select a number from this drop down here. Okay. Notes are optional, and please note that any information written in the note box is subject to a public records request and can be made public if asked for. So, the other point here is there's a scoring rubric, so I can click. It's going to open in another page with the complete rubric here that I can refer to if I click back and forth here. Okay, so I'm going to check. I'm on evaluation item 1, and I am on evaluation item 1. This is what I am reading, number 1, and I'm going to score it. Notes are optional, and then click Save and Continue to advance the right-hand screen to question number 2. So now you can see I have question number 2 on the right side, and I'll scroll down here to align the 2 with the 2 here. I've got the question, and I scroll down to see what the applicant response is that I'm scoring. And I'd like to show you what happens if you try to go forward with no answer. So in this case, I did not put any score in. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe, I don't know, I forgot to put the number in. So when I click on Save and Continue, I get an error message. Before I can go forward, I'm going to need to make a selection here. So I select it, and then I can go ahead and save and continue. So now we're going to go through this process through 6 very quickly. So here's 3. I'm going to put 3 here. I have 3 here. I'm going to select forward and number 4. And I'm going to align 4. And I'm going to make a choice here. Go down to 5. Make sure I'm on 5. Select score. Save and continue. And now I need to get to 6. So I'm on 6. Can get down to 6. Choose a score. Scroll down. Save and continue. Okay, so I have scored 6 items, and before I mark as complete, in which case I will not be able to go back and change anything, I'm going to scroll back and make sure that the numbers are what I wanted and that everything is populated. I didn't leave any notes here that I wouldn't want public or published in the newspaper as a rule of thumb. And so I'm going to go back all the way to item 1, make sure everything looks good. And I've got my score in so I can continue. Got the score I wanted in, I can continue. I got the score I wanted in. Okay. And so on 6, I can continue. And just before we mark as complete, I just wanted to draw your attention that under the applicant's answer for number 6, if you continue to scroll down, you're going to see some other information. And it's important that this information under number 6, um, that there's nothing there that needs to be read or answered, evaluated, or scored. So it's ideal if none of the information after item 6 is reviewed, and it's important that it's not considered in the scoring of applications. Okay, so we covered that. That really your job ends with the written text at number 6 here. And I wanted to show you before we actually get out of here, I wanted to show you one difference with the re-engagement opportunity grant. Um, when we jumped from summary to application, there were these little arrows which you can open and close information. Nothing's going to happen if you click on and off of these. But because the re-engagement interface is set up a little bit different, when you jump into this application page, task 1 is likely to be open. And so you have a lot of scrolling to get to the actual application in task 2 for re-engagement. So what you can do is you can close up that task 1. You'll immediately see task 2. If it's, make sure that it's open, and that's where you're going to scroll down until you get to evaluation item 1. And then just like we just demonstrated, you can align that with evaluation item youth population on the right side as well. All right, so let's go back to our review. And I have done all of my scoring. I used the back button at the bottom to page back through to make sure everything was how I wanted it to be. And so at this point, I'm going to mark as complete, say yes, I'm sure. And now my review is complete. So I hope this video was useful. And thank you very much for watching.